Police thought it was an open and shut case.
They concluded a Nashville security guard shot a man in self-defense.
But News Channel 5 Investigates has uncovered details the initial police investigation missed. Tonight, investigative reporter Ben Hall follows a mother's fight for justice.
You look through these pictures and there's not very many that you're going to see that there's not a big old smile on his face.
Renee Rawson has fond memories of her son.
This is the day that he left for the military as he's kissing his daughter goodbye.
She says Tim Allenbaugh was a devoted father and a peacemaker.
He was the one that, when there were fights, he would always be the one to say, you know, come on guys, let's, you know, everybody just chill out, stop this.
So when a security guard shot and killed Tim in the summer of 2007, Rawson couldn't accept the police version of events, that Tim was the aggressor and the shooting was self-defense.
I hear my son at night saying, Mom, don't give up. Don't give up. I didn't do anything wrong. Don't give up.
She started her own investigation and was shocked by what she found.
Shoddy police work, yes. There was no investigation. You know, their words to me was, Miss Rawson, this is just another homicide in Nashville, Tennessee.
It all happened at this truck stop on Trinity Lane. Everyone agrees Tim and his girlfriend arrived here after 2 in the morning. They went in a back lot and they began having sex. A security guard approached, there was a struggle, and Tim was shot in the chest. The question, was it self-defense or murder?
He was just really angry and out of control.
In this taped deposition, the security guard, 23-year-old Robert Mangrum, claims when he approached the car, Allenbaugh attacked him.
He just didn't really say anything, was cussing, saying, you're just a security guard. Asked him to step back, and he just came at me and grabbed my neck.
Mangrum says Tim Allenbaugh knocked him to the ground and was laying on top of him.
And I grabbed my weapon and just pulled it out real quick and fired a round off.
But pictures from that night show no blood on Mangrum's uniform, even though he said Allenbaugh was on top of him when he shot.
And I just couldn't believe it. I'd never seen anything like that.
News Channel 5 Investigates obtained the police interview with Tim's girlfriend, Lori McDunn, the night of the shooting. It raises more questions.
And I saw the security guard pull his gun on Tim.
Okay, were they on the ground at this point, or were they standing?
They were standing.
McDunn says the security guard took out his gun when they were still standing. Different than Mangrum's claim, he took out the gun while they were on the ground.
He was like, well, this isn't even a cop, he's a security guy.
That night, McDunn says Tim refused to listen to the security guard, who wanted to put handcuffs on him and arrest him. But Mangrum says he does not have the authority to arrest anyone.
I have no powers to arrest. I have powers to detain.
In his deposition, he reveals he regularly handcuffed people while working at the truck stop.
The use of handcuffs is not forcible detention?
I don't think so.
This man took the law into his own hands, and Metro is allowing this to happen.
Police say there were no other witnesses. They interviewed the security guard and the girlfriend, then closed the case.
It was hard for me to believe that you're at a truck stop on Trinity Lane and there are no witnesses.
Metro Nashville 911.
But News Channel 5 Investigates discovered there were witnesses.
I'm at the Pilot on Trinity Lane.
Truckers in that crowded lot called 911 to report the confrontation.
Did you say there were police officers out there already? Yes, and there's shots being fired.
I just wept because I finally had something. I finally had something that was there all the time, and Metro hadn't done anything. The crime scene tape is taped to their truck, and you don't even talk to them. Something's not right.
We tracked down the truckers in Mississippi, and you'll hear what they have to say tomorrow. Their story is different from what police heard from the first 2 witnesses.
So what do police have to say about all of this, Ben?
Well, police have reopened the case. They have now talked to the truck drivers who made the 911 call, and their investigation is continuing. We'll also hear more from them tomorrow at 6.
Can't wait to hear that. Thanks, Ben. Now, police will do a final report and hand it over to the district attorney's office. Whether this is a criminal case or not will be left up to the DA. A News Channel 5 Investigates exclusive is raising questions about a police murder investigation.
Last night we told you about a security guard shooting that police ruled self-defense.
But it turns out detectives did not interview key witnesses. Tonight, investigative reporter Ben Hall tracked down those witnesses who could change everything.
Metro Nashville 911. What's the exact address of your emergency? I'm at the Pilot on Trinity Lane.
It's after 2 a.m. on a June morning 2 years ago.
There's supposedly an officer out here and there's shots being fired.
A truck driver and his wife frantically call 911.
Did you say there are police officers out there already? Yes, and there's a lot of argument and a lot of confrontation, and somebody just fired a shot.
But the guy was already on the ground. He had the gun to the back of his head.
Ann and John Johnson were trying to sleep at the Pilot truck stop on Trinity Lane when they were awakened by a security guard yelling at 28-year-old Tim Allenbaugh.
The yelling never stopped. The cussing and the I'm going to kill you, I'm going to blow your brains out.
The next thing they know, they heard a shot, and Tim Allenbaugh was dead.
There was a shot, and John said, it's too late now. He killed him.
Regardless of what he was doing back there, regardless, there was no reason for it.
News Channel 5 Investigates interviewed the Johnsons. Incredibly, Metro Police did not. They wrapped up their initial investigation, concluding that the security guard acted in self-defense.
From your point of view, is there any way this could have been self-defense?
No.
No.
No way.
I can't see where he felt threatened at if he got a gun to the back of this man's head.
Police photos show that Johnson's truck was parked right beside Tim's car. They had a clear view of what happened from their side window.
And the tape is taped to their vehicle, but you don't feel the necessity to speak to those very people.
Renee Rosson always doubted the police investigation into her son's death.
My son was murdered.
23-year-old Robert Mangrum discovered Tim and his girlfriend having sex in their car at the back of the parking lot. He says Tim then attacked him.
Was he choking you?
Yes.
In this taped deposition, Mangrum tells a story dramatically different from the truck drivers.
He's continuing to strike me, and I looked down to see, my holster, and I was like, oh man, I feel like he's going to go for it because I couldn't get him off of me. I couldn't strike back.
The guy was complying. He was on the ground, hands behind his head. What else did he need to do?
There are other discrepancies. The Johnsons estimate the fight lasted 45 minutes, but Mangrum said it was just a few minutes. In her initial statement to police, Tim's girlfriend, Lori McDunn, backs up the security guard's story.
Just 3 minutes.
But months later, she changed her story and said the fight lasted 45 minutes.
Hindsight being 20/20, their truck door should have been banged on. Hindsight being 20/20, they should have come out of that sleeper and told the police what they saw.
An officer come around on John's side of the truck, pecked on the window, and he didn't ask, did we see anything? Were we the ones that made the 911 calls? Nothing.
Metro Police say when initial statements from the security guard and Tim's girlfriend matched, it led to the determination it was self-defense. Renee Rosson believes police were too close to the security guard. News Channel 5 Investigates discovered Robert Mangrum, the security guard, had just put in his application to be a Metro police officer. In fact, on the night of the shooting, the first call Mangrum made was not to 911, but to a police officer's personal cell phone.
There was and is no relationship between Mangrum and the police department. He was an applicant for the police department. Hundreds of people have applied.
But Tim's mom believes the Johnsons have the most credible version of what happened.
I ain't got no reason to lie about anything. I don't know these people, never met them.
Rosson wants a jury to decide the facts of the case.
Give my son's voice a chance. Let the public decide.
2 years after the shooting, she's still looking for justice.
He's my son. He was a father. He was a brother. He was a friend. He's a human being. He has a right to be heard.
Police have reopened this case. They say the Johnsons' testimony is not the only thing that will determine what happened that night. They're also reviewing all of the forensic evidence.
But police have now interviewed the Johnsons in this new investigation.
Well, that's right, and the Johnsons say they passed the lie detector test. Now, the police told us, or the Johnsons actually told us, that police had minor concerns about a discrepancy the two had in the amount of time the incident lasted. but it was nothing major.
All right, thanks so much, Ben. Now, police say their second investigation is almost finished. They'll present their information to the district attorney, and he will decide whether it warrants criminal charges.